Hey folks, Michael Neeley here. I just have to first off start by saying to Lynn, thank you for having me. You guys are in great hands with Lynn. And I gotta say, when she first invited me to do this talk, I thought, the Unreasonable Woman Summit, what could I possibly contribute to that? But we discussed it a little bit and we figured out that truly the most unreasonable move that you can make, in fact, anybody can make, is to actually start to live against the mold. So if you follow the status quo, we're all raised to believe you go out, you get a job, you do the 9-to-5 hustle, you plan for retirement, you save, and you ultimately work towards that. But who really wants to do that? If you really want to be unreasonable, you want to go out, you want to take chances. You want to design your life the way that you would like it to be. And as a matter of fact, right now, I'm coming to you from a small town in Italy, in Tuscany, called San Gimignano. I and my partner, Krista, who you see right there behind me, the love of my life, we teach freedom lifestyle. And one of the things that is so important is to embody it. And so I'm gonna give you some practices today and some support as I'm coming to you from here in San Gimignano in Tuscany. And we are on retreat here. And when I talk about designing your life, you can actually make your work and your passion merge. And that is the magic. Create the life that you want to have, imagine it, envision it, and generate that life by your work. And it's the challenge a lot of times is that people disassociate the two. And so if there's nothing else that I can leave you with today as part of this training, and I'll also give you some other key pointers that are gonna really help you on your way. But one of the key things that you have to keep in mind is that your life and your business aren't separate. They're actually so intertwined. We like to think of it as being an infinite loop. If you think of the infinity symbol, how it loops and connects and continues in perpetuity. And your life and your business are kind of like that. And the challenge is that often people will get caught up in one side of that loop. They'll work in the business, they'll work so hard, they'll work so hard, and it's all at the detriment of their life. And if you're in relationship, it's often at the part of, I apologize, sweetheart, or I apologize to your children. I've got to work, I got to put in all this time, I've got to do it for us. But the reality is that you end up stuck over here. And often you can't even accomplish as much there because you're lacking this other piece. And when you interweave those and you create that flow, everything elevates. It's like creating a dynamic upward spiral. And so in order to do that, you do have to design your life. You can't just fall into what we call life by default. You actually want to build your schedule the way that you would like it to be. You want to build your work week. So as an example, I'm going to give you a practice here that I suggest you implement right away. If you allow your clients to meet you any day of the week, and I know especially if you're just starting out, I know I did when I was first starting out, I was like, oh, well, what if they need me on Saturday? I need the client, so I want to be available on Saturday. Don't do that. We limit ourselves to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's only 3 days of the week, and we only do that 3 weeks of every month. So we have 9 days that we're available to meet with people, to meet with our clients, to meet with associates. Now, can we go outside that mold? Absolutely, if we choose to. And often we leave that other time for working on our business, for doing your creative ventures, for creating a new course, for writing perhaps you want to write a book. Use that extra time for that. But because you've put all of your client meetings into those tighter zones of time, you free yourself up for truly the rest of life to happen. And with that freedom, you're also going to get a lot of other great stuff. So as an example, us being right here in this beautiful village in Tuscany is part of what we do. So come along with me while we chat a little more. I got pistachio e nocciola.
And I've got pistachio and fig.
The other value that you want to have in designing this life, and notice too that I said 3 days a week, only 3 weeks of the month. That gives us an entire week free to travel, to plan, to meet with other people, to do whatever else we want to do. And in doing so, you could also create those weeks to be, what do I want to do as far as spending time with my clients? So we're here on our Freedom Lifestyle Retreat. We bring clients and other folks with us right here to Italy to really experience it. So you remember earlier I mentioned about embodiment. I could sit here and talk to you about Freedom Lifestyle until I'm blue in the face, honestly. But until you experience it, you don't know what it feels like in the body. So as an example, I could tell you how to ride a bike. I could tell you what balance is, and if you feel yourself falling to one side, lean to the other. I could tell you all of these things. However, you need to feel it. You need to be on that bicycle to start to go, oh, that's what balance feels like, so that you can get it in your body and really develop that full feeling and understanding of it. And it's when that happens that it becomes natural to you. Okay, I don't know anybody who was a natural bicyclist. I remember learning myself. I remember teaching my son how to ride a bicycle. And until you get it, you don't really know. And so Freedom Lifestyle is also about embodiment, traveling to great locations. What is it like to have that freedom to up and go? What is it like? What does it feel like when you're in these locations and you can work while you're traveling if you choose to, or you can just unwind. The other piece that you'll notice when you really start to get the balance is that the work that you do is now elevated. You come back to it with renewed energy and zest, and it makes for better work. And the work that you do makes for better freedom in your lifestyle. You get more accomplished in a shorter period of time, which frees up everything else that you want to do. And so it's a matter of timing and positioning these in a flow that truly is going to give you the lifestyle that you want and that you deserve. So we're going to turn around here in a moment and head back the other direction, just to so I don't wander around in too many areas where there are a lot of people out and about. But I want to be sure that I'm giving you the full feel, although you can't be here with us right now, but the idea and the feel of what it's like. So here I am, and I'm going to take the hand of my sweetheart here in a moment and walk with her as we are working right now in Italy, because it's the life that we've designed. And it's not hard, but it does take thought, because the challenge is most of us end up with what we call lifestyle by default. You fall into, and perhaps it's not even that you fall, but you set out to create a business because you want to have the entrepreneurial lifestyle. But what happens is you end up creating a job for yourself. And guess what? Your boss is probably worse than any other job you may have, because we know what it takes, and often we'll just go, oh, I got to put in the extra time. I got to do this. I got to do that. And many entrepreneurs, and when I say we, I'm talking generally in the world of entrepreneurs. We personally don't do that, but we know so many entrepreneurs who end up working themselves to the bone to literally make everything happen. And here's another huge piece. This is a part that I want you to really write down and take to heart, is that you want to go for the feeling that you want to create. You want to create a business that generates a particular joie de vivre, if you will, about your life. It's like, I want to create a job and a business where we have time to do these things together, to enjoy all that there is to enjoy and have in our lives. And it's so important that you think of it from that perspective. So, and let me just define this even a little deeper for you. You may set out, as many entrepreneurs do, and go, oh, I want to have a 7-figure business. Well, do you know what a 7-figure business will entail for you as far as work goes? Do you know how many hours you'll need to put in to make that? Or what about building the team that's going to make that happen for you? And is that truly what you want? Because the reality is this, and I wish I had my chart here with me to show you, but the reality is you could probably do a business where you're bringing in about $500,000 a year, And you could do that with a very, very small team, very, very little headache. And of that $500,000 a year, probably take home 400. All right. Now, if you want to build yourself up to $1 million business, the reality is going to be you're probably going to have to work harder, maybe put in some more hours, and probably for a while still only take home about the same amount of money, because there's going to be more effort for team, more expense for team, more expense for partners, all the other elements. The margin may drop a little bit. So keep in mind, what is it that you really want to create? Don't get caught up in the ego about numbers of like, I need to have $1 million business. That's ego speaking. What you want is, what is the amount that you feel comfortable to live the lifestyle that you want? And if you can create that, that is the magic. Another big piece that you're going to want to consider as you develop your freedom lifestyle is scalability. And what do I mean by this? I want to say that first and foremost, you've got to stop thinking in terms of trading time, your hours, for dollars. And the way that the reason you don't want to do that, let me just start with that, is that when you trade your time for dollars is you're going to hit a cap. You're not going to be able to scale beyond a certain point, because you can only work so many hours in a week. Even if you chose to work every day, all the hours that you could, there is a finite limit. And then the other is you're going to hit a ceiling as to how much you can charge per hour to maintain the clients that you want to. Now, I'm not saying that you don't want to keep raising that and get higher clients who can handle it, but at the same time, you will find that you start to thin it out and hit a little bit of a ceiling.
It's also really important to not try to do everything yourself. We see way too many entrepreneurs and coaches and solopreneurs of all kinds trying to manage and maintain and learn everything and implement and do, and they just become a slave to their work. And the struggle to speak, it's too intense, and that's really the fastest way to burn out.
Yeah.
So business model and developing a team are really the two of the most important features that Michael and I help people with, so that they can create the freedom lifestyle. Because it's all sounding good, it all sounds great when you're like, okay, I'm just going to travel more and I'm going to be more flexible and I'm not going to see as many clients. It's that mindset when paired with a business model that works for your business that we can help with, as well as making sure that you're not doing it all yourself. How do you grow your team bit by bit? Who are the right people at the right time, so that business continues even while we're here, right? We didn't close shop just because we're here. We're doing the pieces of the business that we want to do, and we have a fabulous team that's keeping the ball rolling and keeping our clients happy while we're gone.
Yeah. And speaking of team, I do want to recommend that you get this book, write it down, Buy Back Your Time, by our friend Dan Martell. Buy Back Your Time is amazing in that it really gets you to understand another concept that's super important for a freedom lifestyle. And here this is a writer downer. People with a wealth mindset will spend money to save time. People with a poverty or scarcity mindset will spend time to save money. And I want you to really think about the absurdity of that. I can always make more money, but I cannot make more time. And so with that in mind, you really want to take on that concept of, if there's something that I'm spending time on, can I hire someone to do this? And this is where Buy Back Your Time will help you a lot with that, where you can determine what is my rate, and if it's something that I would be better off spending my time doing a high dollar, high value object that's going to give me a better return, and hire someone to do the more menial tasks.
So your task, what to do as soon as you're done watching this, is to go through your week. Let's go a day at a time and look at just simply the last week. And I want you to acknowledge where are the times that you've spent where you are generating income, that you are doing high value stuff, you're creating, you're working with clients, and where are you doing things that is just, you're doing it because you don't want to pay somebody else to do it, because that's where you're going to begin to make the biggest shift and change into the next level of growth for your business, not only financially, but also in your time freedom and the way that you enjoy it and embrace it.
So I hope this has been helpful. I know we've just kind of done a little meander and walkabout, but I really want to give you the tips, the concepts, the ideas that you need to kind of implement and ingrain. And I think for VIP bonus, and perhaps this could be edited out if I'm off on this, but we're going to be giving you the Freedom Lifestyle Blueprint. And hopefully you will grab that. And it is a short little mini course training on how to build that freedom lifestyle for yourself, because you won't want to miss that. And you really want to start this from the conception of your business. Now, you can always shift if you've already built a business and it feels like you're working yourself too hard. It's never too late to shift. You can start to revamp that, redesign it. But if you're just starting out, you want to design it correctly from the get-go. So check out the course. I hope that you enjoy it. And thank you, Lynn, for having me be a part of this amazing event. Ciao for now.